welcome to another exciting episode of Ask an Atheist. We are a weekly educational call-in program dedicated to atheism, skeptical inquiry, and the separation of church and state. With you again, I am Mike Gillis, and
I'm Case.
Hey, Case, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back.
Yeah, so we're going to do another exciting dive into the world of skepticism.
Yes, we're going to take a look at pseudoscientific gadgets. Well, there's so many out there. We're going to just touch on a few. We only have an hour show, but we've got a lot of fun clips, great pictures, and some laughs for you guys playing on the show.
The joy of malarkey.
Yes. Bunkum.
Bunkum. They have so many great words for scams and things.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't actually literally chase them out on a rail anymore, but that's what the Federal Trade Commission is for.
Right, when they get around to it.
So some announcements. As you folks may as well know, SCAN is not long for this world. SCAN, which is not going to be re-upped in the new Seattle City Council budget, is kind of going the way of the dodo. And we are not. We are going to continue. We are actually going to be on KLAY AM. That's based out of Lakewood, Washington. We got a lot of exciting things in the move to AM radio. I mean, come on, crazy, controversial stuff. That is the bread and butter of AM radio. And the thing is, moving to commercial radio from public access, we kind of need some bread. And what we are hoping to do is raise enough money to cover our first round of episodes to give us the time to build the advertisers we need to keep this stuff going. So we've already given you guys 6 months of free programming, and if you enjoy what you've seen on here, please go to our website, go to www.askanatheist.tv, and please, if you feel it, drop us a couple bucks. And that's not all. Actually, there is more. We are going to be holding a benefit show at the Tacoma Comedy Club on Thursday, December 9th. This is the awesome poster that was made for us. You can get some more information about this. We have headlining us Brad Upton, who used to be on Almost Live, which was the local sketch comedy program they were on for almost 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
So there is so much stuff. It's going to be a hilarious show. Tickets are $20. If you go on to askanatheist.tv, you can buy them through brown paper tickets. And again, if you want to help us out and you're not in the area, please drop us a couple bucks. You don't have to be in the Washington area. If you're enjoying our show anywhere in the world, please help us out.
Right. I just want to say real quick that I have a lot of sympathy for what the folks at SCAN are going through, and I really appreciate the professionalism as this whole thing is winding down. They've always been top notch, but I especially appreciate it now, even though there's almost no incentive to continue going when they when they're going to close December 31st. But yet they're always here, and they always give us their A game. So
they went into overtime today, helping us set up, going through the usual fun gymnastics that we usually go to, trying to get the sound to work.
Yeah.
And again, SCAN folks, we will miss you dearly.
Definitely.
We love working in the studio with you.
Right.
So other than that, I know that Seattle Atheist, which is a local atheist organization, and the winner of the Best American Atheist
Affiliate of the Year for 2010.
Yes, they award-winning organization. They're going to be doing their annual holiday gift wrapping at various bookstores around the area, raising money for Seattle Children's Hospital.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. If you've got gifts to wrap, please go to one of the organizations. Go to seattleatheist.org. That is their official website. You can get all the information you need if you want to. Hey, if you're an atheist and you want to help out, do some gift wrapping for a good cause, please do. But these guys are a great group, and they deserve the plug.
Yeah.
So.
Nothing really turns that whole stereotype on its head of an atheist who's curmudgeonly and cynical than actually showing up, wrapping gifts, and saying Merry Christmas and wishing people well in this holiday season. That really flips the whole idea of us being curmudgeonly on its head. And that's one of the things I love about gift wrapping for this. And it goes to a good cause.
And it goes to a good cause. I love the charity. Seattle Children's Hospital does so much good work.
Yes.
I mean, I can't imagine a better charity. So.
Yeah. Back to our benefit, we have to thank Jen McCrate and the Friendly Atheist for plugging us.
Oh, yes, Hemant Mehta and Jen McCrate, who are the bloggers behind Friendly Atheist and Blag Hag, respectively.
Exactly.
Basically giving us a pitch on their things, on their blogs, giving us some exposure to some of their readers. Both excellent people, and we want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's one of the things I've always really enjoyed about the atheist community, the activist community, is its willingness to help each other out, to give each other pitches,
Yep.
to understand that we're all sort of in the same struggle.
Yep.
We're all kind of fighting to simply assert that we exist, we're capable of morality, and we're just like regular folks, the people you see around. Just like in the Sesame Street song, the people that you meet each day.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we should plug Living After Faith, Rich Lyon's new podcast.
Oh, yeah, Rich Lyons. He's the vice president of Seattle Atheist.
Yep.
He's actually a former Pentecostal preacher for
Yes,
about 20 years.
He's got quite a story. Yeah.
He's a great speaker, and I would highly recommend checking out his podcast, Living After Faith. It is great.
Yeah, it's especially geared towards the folks who have with challenges of what it's like when you were Christian and you're now part of the atheist community. And a lot of folks, they experience being shunned by family or friends or coworkers because of that transition from theist to atheist. So it's really geared towards folks who are struggling in that part of their lives. So I can't recommend it enough.
It really is great. I mean, it is one of those things where a lot of times when somebody basically comes to grip with the fact that they don't believe in the supernatural claims that religion offers, they find that for them to be honest with themselves, it means them sometimes having ties severed forcibly from the people that they know, whether they're family, their friends, and sometimes feeling that they're very alone. And Rich does a really good job of sort of showing the struggles that he went through and letting you know in a lot of ways it does get easier over time.
Yeah, I mean, what better person to be able to put something together like this, like someone who used to be a minister? I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff.
I mean, that's the sort of thing where you're giving up everything you've built your life around.
Yeah.
And
he's got great stories. Well, not great stories, but really horrific stories about what it's been like making that transition.
Yeah, Rich is a good guy. Please do check it out. Also, a member of our crew, Kate Farr, also known as Bionic Dance. She actually is starting a podcast up with a friend of hers called The A Word. I haven't heard it yet, but knowing Kate and having seen her videos, I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah, think of it like the L word for atheists, So I have no doubt they'll be hitting on some great topics, and if it's anything like her YouTube channel, it'll be a lot of fun to catch it.
Yes, please do check it out.
Yeah.
So Google it.
Yeah. And finally, I want to also plug my own group, Seattle Skeptics. We meet the third Tuesday of every month. If you love reviewing pseudoscience and just talking about global warming or things like this, things like we're hitting on today, or ghost hunting or things like that, I think you really enjoy Seattle Skeptics. It's a group that I've been working on for about 3 years now. We're 300 members strong, and it's a great time. We always have a engaging, entertaining event. So check that out. Google it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let's hit some news stories.
Okay, let's do it.
We're going to start with one that's actually a little bit sad. And we'll work our way out to something a bit more silly as we go. This one actually comes from the Indiana Herald Bulletin. Custody ruling raises legal concerns. It basically says, order against agnostic father, a reason for concern. This is from Anderson in Indiana. A court ruling in which Anderson father's religion was a determining factor to strip him of joint custody of his 3 children is a cause for concern, an Indiana University law professor said. Craig Scarberry of Anderson lost joint custody of his 3 children in this month after Madison County Superior Court 3 Commissioner George C. Pankel issued an order that included court evidence that Scarberry, formerly a Christian, had become an agnostic. The order was affirmed by the Superior Court 3rd Judge Thomas Newman. So we're talking about something where it really is somebody being discriminated against for being a non-believer.
Right.
They're talking about how him being an agnostic and his spouse still being a Christian is something that would make him an unfit parent in some way. That's amazing. That not only oversteps the judge's bounds, but that really gets into constitutional issues.
Yeah, that's completely disgusting. That's a complete violation of his civil rights.
It's amazing. He actually did an interview. I forget what the name of the gentleman is. The host of the Young Turks, which is a great show, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
He did an interview, and the guy behind it, Scarberry, had repeatedly stated throughout the interview that he did not push his. I don't push my beliefs on my kids. I don't push my beliefs on my kids. So what? So what if he did? Let's just say that he did want his kids to be raised skeptical agnostics.
How would that be any different from any other parent?
Yeah, does a Christian have more rights than an agnostic to impart their value system on their children?
If they do, then that has a chilling effect.
It really does, and there's this weird sort of concession that a lot of religious people want us to make, which is that somehow our our way of looking at things or our way of questioning things is somehow inherently harmful or dangerous to children. And that's a concession I will not make. After all, we're not the one... I mean, it's like I don't know anybody who is raised agnostic that you can point to any kind of bigotry that comes from agnosticism or atheism. I've never seen it. In fact, of the people that I know who are parents that are non-religious, atheists or agnostics, they're far less likely to push their belief systems on their kids simply because either they had their belief systems pushed on them as children, or because they look at this and they say, you know what, I want my children to develop naturally. I'll give them the sort of skeptical tools where they can sort of ask these hard questions, but I'm not going to like force this on them like dogma. In fact, we're far less likely to push this stuff on kids. I don't know how many people I've met that when we ask that question, what do you teach your kid about Santa Claus? What will you teach your kid about religion? Far more open-minded, far more about letting the child decide for themselves how they're going to develop in a belief system sort of way.
And more than that, I think this is actually a violation of the Second Amendment.
First Amendment.
Oh, First Amendment, excuse me. Whereas, there's supposed to be a separation between church and state.
Absolutely. That's the thing, is that a judge is acting as an arbiter of the state, and they don't have the right to say that this religious belief system versus this non-system, we're not going to encourage or discourage anything. We're going to be completely neutral.
Right.
We can't make the judgment call that Christianity is inherently better than someone's agnosticism.
Right.
That is unconstitutional. I want them to appeal this.
Right. And going further than that, then which flavor of Christianity is the best one for the child? I mean,
yeah.
You really start to get into this sticky wicket. You just...
I mean, the only point at which I think religious beliefs should be something that a judge has to step in on at all is if there's some kind of demonstrable harm to the child, whether they're denying them medical care or they're beating them, like we had mentioned a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
A child was actually being beaten and a father was using the language in the Bible to justify beating their child. That sort of thing. Something that is a crime even with the religion taken out of it, like
Right.
denying somebody medical care or outright abuse. That's the only thing at which they can step in, because that's already a crime.
Right. Right.
So I really hope they appeal this. I'm disgusted by it. And it really goes to show that I've always said that while I don't believe discrimination against atheists and agnostics is as, I guess you say, visceral or as intense as a lot of bigotry towards other groups.
Yeah, or like racism, yeah.
Racism or homophobia or things like that. I'd say it's more widespread. And I think sometimes it's there in ways that people don't even realize that it's there. Like, for instance, when we went to the SCAN Awards, remember early on somebody who was assigned to sit near our group didn't want to sit near us. And they're like, oh, I don't like your energy. And then at the end of the show, when they realized we weren't going to like bite their head off, they're like, wow, I didn't expect you guys to be so nice.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And it's things like that where somebody doesn't realize that they're saying something horrible when they... That's really what I think. When somebody is making a judgment about an entire group of people based on some sort of preconception, and they don't realize that they're admitting to it. That's what I mean about it's more widespread, that a lot of times when people say things, even a lot of liberals and moderates, about how, oh, well, you need this religious belief in some kind of deity as the bare minimum for a foundation of morality, they don't realize that they're basically telling us outright, you're just incapable of being moral. And no, you don't.
Yeah.
And that's why we exist as a show. That's why the atheist visibility movement on billboards and bus ads exists. That's why we have to speak out.
Yeah, it really speaks to why this is so important. Because the more people can see of us, the more they realize that the stereotypes that they've had of us don't stick.
Yeah, once you actually have to apply stereotypes to a real person,
right.
That's when they fall apart. It
right.
isn't a specific argument or any specific evidence that you could throw out that usually is the thing that does it. What usually destroys bigotry is having to apply these stereotypes that are built up by other people to actual people and finding out that they just don't hold.
Right.
So, again, we are a call-in show. We mentioned that earlier on. Please do, if you want to talk to us about not just the topics on the show, but any topic at all, please give us a call. Our phone number is 206-421-5658. Give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you.